Greetings from askIITians. My name is Vasanth. I work as a biology faculty in askIITians. Okay. Today, we are going to see a topic named Fundamental Units of Life in class 9. And I'm very sure that you all know about the weightage of fundamental units in the NCERT level, which is less than 20%. But in the case of competitive exams like Olympia, the percentage of weightage for fundamental units of life chapter will be much more than 20%. So today we are going to look into few concepts that we see in fundamental units of life. Come on kids, let's get into the topic. So here, the topic which we are going to discuss about is plasma membrane. So when we talk about plasma membrane, the term is what is more important for you to understand. When they say plasma membrane, plasma means the plasma constituent of the cell. And the membrane which encloses the plasma is called plasma membrane. The other name of plasma membrane is called cell membrane. Why is it called cell membrane? The membrane defines the cellular space. That is why it is called cell membrane. So who discovered its presence? It is C. Nageli and C. Kramer in the year 1855 discovered the plasma membrane. And the chemical composition of plasma membrane involves lipid and protein. So when they say protein, there should be a percentage. There are two different substances, right? So the percentage of protein in the plasma membrane is 58 to 59%, and the percentage of lipids in the plasma membrane is 40%. Now here, the most important thing that we are going to see is the lipid is not present as lipids, just as lipids. It is in the form of phospholipids, where a phosphate molecule is present on top. And here, there are trace amounts of carbohydrate is also found to be present in the plasma membrane. Now, let's see what is the function of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is selectively permeable. So what does the term selectively permeable means? It actually allows the entry and exit of material up to a certain level, which means it doesn't allow everything to pass through them. It actually allows only few materials to pass through them from inside to outside and from outside to inside the cell. Okay. So, and the next thing that we need to remember is the process of movement of water. Okay, movement of water from inside of the cell to the outside and outside of the cell to the inside is through diffusional process. It actually happens through a semi-permeable membrane, and this is called osmosis. Osmosis is a process where water moves from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. So let's see a short description GIF file to help us understand the concept of osmosis. Here you can see in this container, this side of the container has water and this side of the container has water which also contains the salt molecules. Okay, salt molecules, and in between we have a plasma membrane, right? So here you can see the water is higher in concentration, so it moves from its higher concentration through the semi-permeable membrane to a lower concentration because of the concentration of salt present in this side of the water, which makes the percentage of water less. So osmotic concentration will become different from the water. So that is why water moves from one place to another through semi-permeable membrane. In the case of reverse osmosis, when the water moves from its lower concentration to a higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane with the application of pressure, which is most important. Okay, so that is how the reverse osmosis takes place. So I repeat, osmosis is a process where movement of water molecules from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. Okay, that is called osmosis through a semi-permeable membrane, which is one of the most important word to include in the definition. So when you talk about reverse osmosis happens in the opposite side, where the water from the lesser concentration moves to the higher concentration, okay, upon application of pressure as mentioned here. So this is called reverse osmosis. I'm very sure in most of your houses you would have installed RO systems. So the expansion of RO is a reverse osmosis system. Okay. So when we talk about osmosis and stuff, okay, so here we have certain theories which is discussed with you in your books. So it is hypertonic solution and hypotonic solution and isotonic solution. First, we'll see what is hypertonic solution. Hyper means high, tonic means solution. So a solution which have highly dissolved substances. So this is the red blood cell which is mentioned over here, and this is a solution represent outside the cell. So what actually happens is you can see the number of salt molecules, the sodium chloride, okay, is higher in the solution outside. So that is what makes the solution hypertonic in nature. Hypertonic with respect to what? With respect to the cellular content. So if you see, the amount of sodium chloride present in the cell is less. So this makes the cell hypotonic in solution. So what actually happens is the amount of water molecules present in the cell will be higher than the amount of water present outside the cell. So according to osmosis, we have learned that water moves from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. So we will be able to see the cell will become shrunk because of the movement of water molecules from inside of the cell to the outside solution. So this process of osmosis, where it moves, the water moves from a cell to the outer side. We call this as exosmosis. We call this as exosmosis. EXOSMOSIS, exosmosis. Okay. So continuing with the next step, we have isotonic solution here, where the concentration gradient between the outside solution and the inside liquid matter of the cell will be same. So will there be exchange of materials? Yes, but there will not be any net movement. There will not be any accountable change in the inside content of the cell or the outside content of the solution. So that is why it is called isotonic movement. So there is no net movement seen. So the next one is hypotonic solution. Here hypo means lesser concentration. So the outside the cell, the solution will have higher concentration of water, which will ultimately enter into the cell, because when it is compared to the cell actually have more amount of sodium chloride solution, sodium chloride substances. So because of which the water from outside the cell, the solution, will enter into the cell. So this causes the cell to swell up and then it bursts open. So this process of movement of water from the external solution into the cell because of hypotonic solution is called endosmosis. Endosmosis. Okay guys, today we have learned some important concepts with respect to osmosis. To learn more about biology, please join online classes with askIITians. Thank you so much guys.